What's up, guys, girls, and atoms of Augenessen? So we all know and love the main 21 levels in GD. Of course, they're classics, they're staples. We've been intimately familiar with them for almost 7 years now. But do you guys remember the spin-off games? Geometry Dash World, Meltdown, and SubZero? I said those in the wrong order. Geometry Dash Meltdown, World, and SubZero? Well, I do, and I want to go through them today and kind of take sort of a critical look at them. How good they are from a new person's POV, what a new player would think if this was the first thing they had played, versus what a veteran player would think, aka me. I'm a veteran. I've been playing this game for like 9 years. Now, luckily, Geometry Dash Meltdown and World were both made pre 2.1, so the levels in them all work on 2.1, which is great. So let's just jump into the 7 Cs. This is the first level of Meltdown, and this level goes so hard. The song, it's got such a classic level. This is kind of what I think of when I think of 2.0 level. It kind of looks like, I don't know, it kind of just looks like a more watered down version of Deadlocked, and honestly, I kind of like that. To be honest, though, F77 kind of just knocked this one out of the park with the song, really. Now, since this is a 2.0, the features do pick up a lot faster, visually at least, because honestly, if you really think about it, we've only seen cube and ship, and there hasn't even been any orbs or pads, so it does kind of do the same thing that Stereo Madness did. It's just more visually appealing, you know, it's not just default layout blocks. Now, I feel like we already do have some more complicated flying than Stereo Madness, but honestly, I don't think this is something that any new players would really have much of a problem with. Yeah, it's very open, a lot of space to fly around here. Plus, there's jump indicators, like, everywhere. Overall, a banger, through and through. Now, from a new person's POV, I'd probably give that one, like, an 8 out of 10, because it is very simple, you know, just the cube and the ship. It is, you know, a little visually confusing, kind of, later on. Because, you know, at the beginning, it starts off pretty simple, but overall, still I'd argue a pretty good introduction to a lot of the stuff that we've seen. A lot of the stuff that we know, you know, you and I as more involved GD players. Now, from a veteran's POV, I think this level still goes hard. This level is still a banger. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10, just because it's just a fun time, chill fun time. Maybe you could argue that it's a little bit boring because it's so, you know, tame. But honestly, I love it. The level's very energetic, considering it's, you know, the first level of a game. And I love that. Viking Arena. This is the second level of Meltdown. I think this level honestly does the best job with, like, theming. Not a huge fan of the song. Now, this introduces pads. You know something I'd like to introduce you to? The subscribe button! Oh yeah, these segues get better every video! We absolutely smashed 100k, and now we're setting our sights on 200k! Let's go! Alright, back to Vikings. Now, this introduces pads, just like Back on Track. Does pretty much the same thing that Back on Track does, with showing that some pads are fake. Then we get launched into a ship part. Very open again. Got some moving objects that are impossible to die to. I guess just so you know, moving objects are there. So now we still got some pretty open flying, but the platforms are moving now, which is cool, I guess. I mean, it's cool, you know, knowing that moving objects weren't always in the game. Honestly, an average player, a new player, probably wouldn't think this is anything too crazy, because as far as they're concerned, you know, the last level had moving objects, so yeah, I'd say this one goes pretty raw. I honestly really like the theming of this one with, like, these blocks, like the geometrical dominator blocks. I think they work very well. From a new player's POV, I would give that one a solid, like, 7 out of 10. Okay, from a veteran POV, I'd probably give it, like, a 6 out of 10. So I do think it's a pretty good level, but I kind of wish they maybe had introduced the other types of pads. Because you have to remember, Meltdown only has the 3 levels. It's not like we're gonna have all the opportunity in the world to see the other pads. So I do think it might have been cool maybe to, you know, use a pink pad or a blue pad here or there. But for the most part, very solid level still. Airborne Robots. I like this level. So it introduces orbs. As you can see, it's basically the Polargeist of this game, except way better. Song is a substantial increase. I feel like maybe we've gone down a little bit in the visuals department, but that's fine. Pads obviously make a return here. Oh, that's right, I forgot this also introduces the ball. So it introduces the orbs and the ball. In the ship we go. Are there other kinds of orbs, though? Because so far we've only seen yellow ones. My sources tell me no. Yeah, so again, I mean, it's still a very good level. It's still a fun level. I mean, from a new player's POV, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. Because I do think that it introduces orbs, fair enough. The ball is nice and slow at the beginning. From a veteran POV, though, I think it's kind of the same issue that Viking Arena had. I feel like maybe we could have afforded to use some of the other kinds of orbs. So I'd maybe give it like a 7 out of 10 for you know, veteran POV as well. I still really like this level, honestly. I think it looks really cool. I think it has some of the coolest color combos in Meltdown, but I just feel like there's, you know, maybe a little bit more potential there, you know? So overall, GD Meltdown's a very solid game. I actually really liked Meltdown when it came out. And yeah, I mean, it was super good. I don't remember if this came out before 2.0. No, I don't remember it. Hold on. It didn't. Okay, so 2.0 did come out first, so a veteran POV, you know, might be a little bit disappointed with it because it didn't really show any new features. I know when Meltdown came out, a lot of people were hoping and thinking that it was maybe going to show some 2.1 stuff, but nope, it's just more 2.0 levels. But honestly, solid game. So now we get to move on to GD World, which is the one I'm real excited for because I'm going to absolutely tear into GD World. We're going to start with Payload, first level. GD World actually has quite the unique concept. I actually really like the idea of having worlds or islands that have levels on each one. It's kind of like a cooler version of the gauntlets and map packs with more personality. And I actually really like the idea of it. And it's a shame that this is how it was done. Oh, I'm sorry. The first level's already over, huh? Yeah, so if you're somehow invested enough in GD to be watching this video but not know the deal with GD World, it has 10 levels, but they're all like 4 seconds long. And the thing is I remember vividly, there were some YouTubers that, you know, don't play GD a ton that tried this, and even they were underwhelmed by how short the levels were.
That's it? Hold on, is it gonna drop some more? Nothing? Okay, that was that! Okay, right there. That was it! Okay, please let it drop! Please let it drop!
But on its own merits, you know, Payload's a fine first level, I guess. I'm just gonna say now the veteran POV on all of these is gonna be like a 3 out of 10 because it's short and they don't introduce a whole lot, and they're not really that fun to play either. A newbie POV. I mean, maybe they'd give this like a 7 or an 8 because honestly, I could see it being pretty gratifying to play a level in a game you're not familiar with and beat it like first try because it's so short and easy. But that factor will drop off very quickly. Level 2 is Beast Mode. Introduces pads. Same thing as last time. This is nothing special. And honestly, I think this is a fine introduction to pads. There aren't as many fakes. There were only a couple at the start, but when the levels are 5 seconds long, I guess there's not a whole lot of room to add fakes. So, like I said, veteran POV, this is like a 3 or 4 out of 10. Newbie POV, probably another like 7. Again, Machina is like the poltergeist of this game in that it introduces orbs. Veterans of the game may hear this song and shudder at just how many levels used this song after GD World came out. I think it's kind of funny, honestly. Even I made a level with Machina. But par for the course, level's over already. Level's already done. So, you know, again, veteran POV, like a 2 or a 3, you know. We've all seen this shit before. We don't care. It's not that fun. New POV, you know, probably another 7 out of 10, just because of the new features. You know, RobTop eventually runs out of features to really introduce, so it gets a lot more underwhelming. But adding orbs and the ship in like a 15-second level is pretty cool, so I can see that being satisfying. So Years is a unique level. It is the first level, I think, in the entire GD franchise to start off in a different game mode, which is kind of neat, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's just a ship section. I mean, it's a ship section with moving objects, I guess, but this is really not anything special. You know, newbie POV, this one's probably like a 2 out of 10. Sorry, veteran POV, this is like a 2 out of 10. New POV, I mean, this is probably gonna drop down to like a 5, because again, nothing new is added here. It's just another ship part, with some more moving objects. So that's that. On to Frontlines. Now, don't get me wrong. I think these levels are like fine for the most part. I mean, they're pretty bland, but I don't think they're like explicitly bad. Plus, I'm sure that RobTop was working to hit a deadline by the holidays or something, because that's when all the spin-offs came out. But does not change the fact that the levels just aren't really that fun. They're not bad. They're not a like unpleasant experience. They're just, I would never go out of my way to play these. Anywho, Frontlines uses orbs and pads. No other kinds, just yellow ones. 2 out of 10 for a veteran, like a 5 out of 10 for a newbie. So by this point, we have finished the first island of GD World, the Dash Lands. Now we're moving on to the second world, which is the Toxic Factory. Space Pirates is the first level. And now this is pretty unique. This is the first time that the UFO has been used in a spin-off, which is pretty neat. Now, arguably, I do think this is one of the cooler levels in World, just because I think it has the coolest theme. I like the purple and green combo. I like the background, you know? And plus, you can't go wrong with the Water Flame song. I'm sorry to all Dex Arson fans, I just don't think the songs in this game are very good. So Veteran POV is probably like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. I feel like this level is definitely one of the more fun ones to play. A newbie POV would probably bump back up to like a 7 or an 8. Oh god, the mirror portal. Oh boy. Now this is interesting because I honestly feel like people who haven't played GD before aren't anywhere near as like jaded about the mirror portal as veterans are. So I honestly feel like new players would probably like, they'd probably think this is pretty cool. Actually, never mind. Because I remember there was a video I did a while ago where I was showing my mom some demons from the demon list, and she saw a part where the mirror portal happened, and in her own words, she said,
Oh. I hate when it does that.
So yeah, actually no. New players I actually don't think would really care much for the mirror portal. So veteran POV, this one's like a 3 out of 10. It's honestly carried by the song, and new players would probably have like, I don't know, maybe like a 6 out of 10 because it is a new feature. It's just not a particularly good one. So Embers, again, we start off in the ball part. Second time now that we've started off with something other than the cube. And I'm not a huge fan of the song, but honestly, I think this level has very nice gameplay. I think it flows pretty well. So it does some things right. I mean, it kind of just looks like airborne robots, but, you know, we're gonna ignore that. Now, I think this level's fine. I might just be a little bit biased because I really like the ball mode. I'm gonna give this one a veteran score of 5 out of 10. Because it doesn't introduce anything crazy. I mean, it introduces the ball in this game mode. But honestly, I just really like the ball, and I think the gameplay flows pretty well. For a newbie, this one's probably like maybe a 7 out of 10, because it's pretty easy ball gameplay, and I feel like the ball's a pretty easy game mode to get down. I feel like it is not out of the question for a player who has never played GD before to one attempt literally every single one of these levels, by the way. So round 1, I really feel like is kind of the runt of the litter. I feel like, who cares about this level? But we got blue orbs and pads, and flipping gravity in general. Gravity portals. This is the gravity level, which is pretty neat. I just think that it's unfortunate that it's like this level, because I think the song is pretty mid. I think that the color scheme is pretty boring. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a veteran score of like 6 out of 10. Nope, 5 out of 10. I don't care. I changed my mind. A new player, honestly, might get a little bit tripped up by switching gravity, because, you know, we're 9 levels in and we've just now seen that you can flip gravity. So I'm gonna say a new player would probably give this one maybe like a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10. Alright, Monster Dance-Off, final level. We are gonna be getting some more content here. So we got the blue orbs and pads, those make a return. But, special guest, we get introduced to the wave, which is always cool. Again, this is very easy wave gameplay. But honestly, I like the wave a lot. I think it's a good game mode. And honestly, I think this introduction of the wave is honestly fine. I think this is a decent level. I feel like it could maybe afford to honestly introduce like speed changes, because this is kind of an intense song. And to be going at regular speed the entire time, I feel like it's a little bit underwhelming. I'm going to give this one a veteran score of 6 out of 10 and a newbie score of 8 out of 10. This is, honest to God, all things considered, probably one of the best levels in GD World, which isn't saying a whole lot. I mean, we're comparing it against, you know, the other GD World levels. So then we get to GD SubZero. Geometry Dash Meltdown didn't show off any new features from 2.1. I actually don't think World did either. Even though like a lot of 2.1 stuff was actually in the game. I don't know if you guys were around back then or remember this, but when GD World came out, people data mined the game and found the beta version of Finger Dash that was going to be, you know, in the main game eventually. So I don't know why there wasn't any 2.1 stuff shown here. So yeah, both of these games came out between 2.0 and 2.1, but neither of them showed off any 2.1 content. So SubZero came out next, and it came out between 2.1 and 2.2, which isn't saying much because 2.2 still isn't out yet. But this game actually did show off a lot of 2.2 features. So they don't work on 2.1, so I need to switch to an Android emulator to play them. So here we are in SubZero on the 2.2 GDPS SubZero editor. If you couldn't already tell, people data mined the absolute hell out of this game and made it basically free to play. They removed all the restrictions from it. So this is basically the 2.2 beta, the old 2.2 beta, like from like 3 years ago. But for now, we're just going to focus on the official levels. So press start. Again, keep in mind this is the first level of a new game. Let's see what it introduces. Remember, the first levels of both other games really didn't introduce orbs, pads, or anything. But that's a pad already. We got pads and orbs. We got the ball. We got pink orbs for the first time. We got gravity changing. The red pad. We got the ship. We have the robot for the first time in one of these spin-offs. And that's not even to mention all the camera controls and stuff that we have, which are 2.2 only. And then we have reverse orbs, which is a 2.2 feature, but in the same level that you're like introducing orbs in general. I mean, dang, to already have reverse orbs. So I love this level. I think this level goes so hard. As a veteran, I'd give this one like a 9 out of 10. It's super fun. It has a lot of replayability. The coins are very good. I just have a lot of fun playing this level. This level's really cool, and I can't wait to play it, you know, in the actual game. However, as a new player, this one would probably take a while. Yeah, if you've never played any GD before and this is your first experience, there's a lot of stuff here. You're introduced to like 4 different game modes. You're introduced to orbs, pads, different types of orbs and pads, gravity switching, and then you tack on the camera controls and reverse orbs from 2.2. So I feel like a new player could probably get through this one, but I feel like a new player would probably give it like a 7 out of 10, because I could see it being pretty overwhelming for a new player. So on to Knock'em. Uses a different font. I don't know if it's the first time that we've had a different font in any of these, but it's the first one that I noticed. Got this cool teleporting effect, but it could maybe be a little bit disorientating to new players. Then we have this part, where the camera, you know, swaps around, flips us around a little bit. Camera controls could take some getting used to for new players. And the spider, finally! God, it's been so long. We have not seen the spider yet, I don't think, because all of these games so far haven't used any 2.1 features, but we finally have the spider. However, that is a new game mode that new players would have to learn, so there's always that. So, again, I would say, from a veteran POV, this level is still incredibly raw. This level is probably like another 7 or 8 out of 10, honestly. I love this level. Love Knock'em. I feel like, assuming that the new player has beaten Press Star before they come to this, I feel like maybe the reverse orbs are hopefully a little bit more readable. I feel like new players maybe have the reverse orbs down a little bit more. The camera controls, I think, are still kind of the biggest issue. I think they're used very tastefully here. I don't think they're overdone, but I'm not gonna, you know, act like it isn't probably going to be a little bit confusing the first time. So yeah, so veteran player, I'd say like an 8 out of 10. New player, I'd say maybe like a 7 out of 10. So Power Trip is the final level we're going to talk about today. Got some reversing, got some platforms, you know, coming into existence. Other types of orbs as usual. Should be nothing new by now. Then we get to this part, this infamous part. This part would probably kill a lot of new players, because then you start just moving backwards out of nowhere. Like, who was expecting that? Back to the robot? Wow. That's the first time I've died in this video. One moment, please. So we're back here, we're back in the robot. Oh my god. One moment, please. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. These levels provide much more of a challenge than the world levels, and I think that's a good thing, honestly. Alright, let's focus up, I guess. Jesus, alright. So for the first time in any of these spin-offs, I think, we have mini mode. We have mini mode. That's what I was gonna say. All right, man. I guess I gotta focus up hard, dude. I gotta treat this like an extreme demon, apparently, because I'm bad. Jeez, finally. So yeah, and then we end with a speed changes. I haven't really been mentioning them because I think that Press Start had them. So they've been here from the start, actually, but. Oh my god. Finally, dude. Oh my god. I can't believe that took me so long. But I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm kind of irritated it took me so long, but then again, I'm playing on an Android emulator, not a phone. So, you know, there might have been some delay involved. I don't know. But that's what I'm talking about. These levels should have a little bit of a challenge. You know, there should be replayability there. Honestly, I think Power Trip's a good level. It doesn't look that great. It's kind of boring visually, but I think it's got good gameplay. I think it's solid overall. I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10 for a veteran POV. And I'm going to say, from a newbie POV, assuming this person likes challenge and likes fun, I'm going to say probably like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, honestly. I feel like this is very cool, very novel. I think that it's think it's just a good level. I don't know what to say. Overall, SubZero is a pretty good game. I think it introduces features nicely. It is a little bit hyper and stuff like that, but honestly, I kind of appreciate that. Meltdown is like the second best, I think. It's pretty good. And, you know, World is, well, it's Geometry Dash World. You know? So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy that. Special thanks to all the channel members, including Village, Gato, Penji Plays 149, Zan Lol, I guess, and Isuru. Thank you guys very much for all the support. It means the world to me. And as soon as 2.2 comes out, you guys will be getting a lot more content. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you guys all in the next video. Hopefully it's a 2.2 video. I can't wait much longer.